Playing on a 200 plus ping is never a fun experience, but if it's your only option, then what can you do? I play most games with 200 ping since I am from South Africa, so in this video, I want to share with you how you can play with 200 ping and still have fun. I'll go over some of the basic things that you need to keep in mind, what playstyles are best for high ping players, tools you can use, and how to further close the gap by becoming a better player. Playing with a high ping gives you a major disadvantage, and it's important for you to know what you're up against and how you can minimize your disadvantage by understanding it better. High ping players are further away from the game server than low ping players, meaning the data or input sent by the high ping player takes a lot longer to reach the server. For example, a 200 ping player's input might take 100 milliseconds to reach the server, but a 20 ping player's input might only take 10 milliseconds to reach the server. This is important to keep in mind while playing, because even if your damage is equal to a low ping player's damage, then their damage will always register first, meaning if they kill you before your damage registers on the server, they'll receive no damage in most games. An easy way to understand this is by imagining that your character has a shadow, but the shadow lags behind you and has a delay of about 100 milliseconds depending on your ping. While playing, always keep your shadow in mind and only take actions if your shadow will be able to execute them as well. Knowing that you always have a shadow following you and that you need to keep it in mind, what classes or roles should you play? Having a slower reaction speed because of your ping, you'll always have to watch out for big burst damage. Big burst damage can be hard to react to or to counter. The natural counter against burst damage is tanks. Being a tank, you're naturally playing a slower role, giving you time to react. Your big health pool and high armor will allow you to take a hit and leave you room for error. Your main job will be peeling for your allies with your crowd control. If you don't enjoy being the tank, then support might be your next option. In New World, you usually just cast your abilities and forget about it as a healer. Sure, there can be intense moments where you need to be tippy top before your allies drop, but most of the healer skills are also tap targeting, so it's difficult to miss your abilities. Most older MMOs have tap targeting, and I think one of the reasons was because of lag. Healers do get focused a lot more than tanks, so be careful in wars, focus on evading first, and when safe, go back to your healing. If you're really not into tanking or supporting and want to play damage, then I also got a couple of tips for you. Range DPS is better than melee. I would recommend the musket since it is hit scan, but you can definitely get used to leading your targets with a fire staff with enough practice. I recommend range because the main skill you'll be focusing on building will be positioning, allowing you to outmaneuver your opponent without having to use reaction speed to dodge high damage abilities. Having the range will allow you to kite away to heal up when things don't go your way. The worst thing you can do as a DPS role is get hit first, since it leaves little room for error. Ideally, you want to burst your opponent, leave before they even notice, so I recommend you focus on targets with low health that you can take out in one combo. Catching players by surprise will buy you time because you're always a couple of milliseconds behind everyone else. As a high ping player, you never want to be on the defensive. The reason for this is if you're getting engaged on first, you're reacting instead of acting. And with your ping being higher, you're more likely to not dodge that incoming skill shot because their attacks get registered on the server before yours. It's much better to attack first, But of course, you can't always run into a situation like a headless chicken, you still have to use your brain. If playing the right class isn't enough, then there are tools that you can use to try and improve your ping. I have recently been trying out Lost Ark and decided to use Exit Lag as a VPN since my country unfortunately doesn't support the game, and naturally because I already got it, I also tried it on New World to see if it would improve my experience, and I have been noticing that I've been getting a lot less lag detected messages and it has decreased my ping with about 10. It's nothing major, but the stability of my connection has improved by a lot. Exit Lag reroutes your connection to the game server for a more optimized connection, so that's probably why I got a more stable connection. If you want to try out Exit Lag for yourself, you can get a free trial. I personally bought Exit Lag after trying it, but for this video I messaged them to ask if they would partner up with me, and I got a 20% discount code for you guys. If you use the link in the description, you can go to their website and try it out, and if you decide that you like it, you can use code CORE at checkout for a 20% discount. You'll also be supporting my channel when you do this, so a big thank you to you. There are ways you can close the gap even further between you and a low ping player as well, and it mostly involves having a lot of game knowledge. Since New World is an MMO, you can always outbuild your opponent. Better gear does win you more fights, and most people don't really take the time to fine tune their builds. So if you're on the bleeding edge of gear progression, it should allow you to minimize the gap between you and other players. I recommend you learn about the best perks for your role and always try to improve it bit by bit. Knowing all the abilities and skills other players use also goes a long way, since it will allow you to predict their playstyles and think a couple of steps ahead. Having a good understanding of the meta and the best builds at the time will also help you improve your playstyle. Playing with a high ping, you'll always have a disadvantage, there's no doubt about it. You can't do much about it, but you can improve and learn how to succeed in a rougher environment than the rest of the player base. Don't be that player that cries lag and doesn't improve. Play the hand you're dealt and do it with a smile. If you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like and don't forget to subscribe for more New World videos.